Hello, welcome to the Overshare Pamphlet. My name is Rob, and I'm the host of this one-man show. Happy New Year! No, I'm kidding. Happy new Taylor Swift album week, I guess. I don't know. It was released on Friday, but this is coming out on Monday. But either way, happy new Taylor Swift album. So, for all the Swifties who are celebrating with me, this episode is going to be specifically about, of course, the Tortured Poets Department, which is the newest, freshest Taylor Swift album. Came out, as I said, on Friday, and it runs to 31 tracks, which is probably the longest album she has ever done. Definitely 31. I don't think even with the recordings she's reached these many tracks. And yeah, so I think it has a total runtime of like 2 hours. So insane stuff. But yeah, so today as a title we're going to be talking about the album. Since there are so many tracks, I think my the way I'm probably going to go about this is going to be just some highlights in my listening experience, what I think of the album in general, the themes, the messages that she's trying to convey, what are the my thoughts on the album in general, how do I think it's going to compare to the other albums, and all that, the charting and all that stuff, like the way she's doing on the charts and all that stuff, maybe even public opinion a bit, and critics. I'll try and do like a bit of everything. But also, as I said in my previous episode, I only had the album for 2 days, and so I just want to call this like a more of a first initial reaction, I guess, to the album, just so we're all on the same page. Don't expect me to have the entire knowledge for an album that just came out literally 2 days ago. I didn't have time to sit, so that's the preface, that's the fair warning. So, but yeah, as usual, before we get into that, songs of the week, we're gonna, as always, whenever I do like a album review or something of the sort, I usually put a couple of tracks that I really like from the album in the playlist that I do for the month. Go check it out. It's called the Overshare Pamphlet, Songs of the Week, April. But yeah, I'll put a couple of those, so I won't be talking about any of the tracks from the album because I'll talk to them later I'll talk to them about the tracks later. But yes, Songs of the Week. First of all, I wanted to put in Your Bitch by, oh my god, I hope I can pronounce this right, Adana Duru, I guess that's how you pronounce it. But incredible track. It has a bit of that K-pop vibe to it, like the chill K-pop type of beat, but like sort of like I can see Le Seraphim doing something like this. So yeah, but just super vibey track. I just love the lyrics so much. She said like the reason why you have no friends is because you're a bitch and all that stuff. So relatable stuff. If you ever have an enemy in your life, the song is for them basically, and it's just nice, super nice. So yeah, just give it a listen. It's very, very vibey, just very, you can jam to the song so well. It's just so nice. I like the melodies in the chorus. There's a bit of a guitar in it. There's a bit of synth. It's a bit of like that girly pop, like, what is that Le Seraphim song? It reminds me so much of that in terms of production, or in terms of delivery or singing and all that stuff, because it's a bit of a different thing. Let's see if I can find it. Perfect Night. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that in terms of vibe. But yeah, that's a song I've been recently very obsessed with, so I definitely would recommend it. And it's just a nice track to have whenever you want to either read, or it's also, yeah, exactly, it's not like super explosive on production, so you can just like vibe with it whenever you're doing anything else, chores or whatever. Then I have a song called Hush by a band called Lylo, so Lylo. I don't know anything about this band. I discovered it on Saturday because I went to, well, it was vinyl day. It was like record day or something like that in the UK. So Rough Trade East, which is the record store that is located in Brick Lane, London, was hosting basically a bunch of events, including several bands performing, and me and my friends went to the event, and this band was playing. It's called Lilo, and their songs are just incredible. They have an album coming out May 10th, so please, if you enjoy the vibe, go listen to the song first and see, like, if you like the vibe, maybe look out for them, because they have few streams, I have to say, but they are so talented. The singer is just incredible. But in terms of vibe, I would describe it as a bit of a 1975 the band kind of track. But they do a lot of like 70s, 80s songs. It's just so nice. Even the way he sings is very like 70s stylized in a way. So super cool. I would definitely recommend. So yeah, just give it a go. And there's plenty of other tracks they have. So maybe give everything a listen. But they have a new album coming out May 10th, as I said. So yeah, that's another one. I think maybe I'll stop myself here, just because I have a couple of quite a few tracks from the Torture Poets department to talk about. So might as well get into that. So yeah. So the Torture Poets department is, I assume it's like, if we do a proper like, well, it would be the 13th. Would it be the 13th album in that sense? I guess so. But either way, this is the album that was, announced at the Grammys when she won Album of the Year for Midnights. So, and to our surprise, well, not to our surprise, some people theorize about this like for a long time. Everyone was saying like, oh, it's gonna be a double release, and I wasn't really giving it a thought, I have to be honest. But now I am. Well, now I am. Like the double album is real. So she dropped at 2 a.m. a second installment of the album. So at midnight the normal version came out, and then at 2 a.m. she announced that a second basically side of the album was available, which rounds up basically the total track length to 31. So yeah, 31 tracks in total. So the first normal version is 16, and the other one is 15. So this the anthology version, I guess, is the extra 15 tracks. So first off, I guess, like, there are so many fucking tracks. I have more knowledge about the first half of the album because that's what I've been concentrating the most, I have to say. It's a tough task to ask your fans to like listen to 31 tracks, but I will do it. I mean, I will get into all the tracks with time. I just need to sit on them because there's just like so many tracks, as I said. So don't come for me if I don't talk about your faves or all that stuff. But there's quite a lot that, has been released. So yes, that's the first thing I want to say. So one of the reasons why this album was like so anticipated in a way was because it was like alleged that it was going to be about Joe Alwyn, their breakup, the breakup that happened basically after the release of Midnight. So this was all the fresh material she had to ponder on in that sense. So yeah, everyone was like expecting, I guess, slanderous album, like something that's gonna like call him out and all that. And to our big surprise, I mean, part of the tracks are, I contend, about him in the main version specifically, but there's quite a bunch of tracks that are about Maddie Healy. So Maddie Healy, like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with for those who are not, of course, familiar with the timeline. Taylor Swift, after she broke up with Joe Alwyn, like probably a month later, she met, she was papped with Maddie Healy. So Maddie Healy was sort of like her rebound. The public really didn't like it, of course, because Maddie Healy is quite a problematic person, I guess. He said so many weird things, racism, of course, also a bit of weird, comments about women, and there's just a lot about surrounding his personality. But one thing I guess you cannot argue about the man is that he's actually very talented and he knows what he's doing in terms of music. He's very popular. His latest album, Talking in a Foreign Language, was a great success, very popular album. I also went to watch his concert when he was touring in London. So yes, that's that. Also, apologies for the noise in the background, but I left my window open. It's just I've been cleaning my room and it's just full of dust, so I had to leave it open or I would die. But yeah, so they dated for like a very short while. It was like a well that we know of course. Maybe they and according to some of these tracks as well, they might have been in touch for quite a bit already. So interesting. But either way, this is an album also dedicated to him and calling him out as well, and while also professing, there are some tracks that are like very, passionate and very, I want to say like love songs, of course, that are dedicated about him, but like that are about him for sure, I think. But also, there are some very slanderous songs about him as well, because they broke up in the end, right? So now she's with Travis Kelce, and there's a bunch of that included in there. But the main thing is to note here is that while Midnights was being recorded and like produced and all that stuff with Jack Antonoff, the 1975 were also recording the Speaking in a Foreign Language album, because that was also done by Jack Antonoff, was produced by Jack Antonoff. So that's definitely like a reason why they probably like linked up again. Like Jack must have been the middleman. Crazy, but they must have like met each other once again. They have a history, to be fair. During the 1989 era, her and Maddie, there were some rumors that maybe they met. Oh my god, you know what? I might have to close the window, but they probably met like during that era. There are some like pics of her wearing a 1975 T-shirt and him wearing like a 1989 T-shirt. The general consensus between the fandom is that probably he was a missed opportunity for her to like to date, in that sense. It was a missed link or something, because when these things were starting to come up, there was when she broke up with Harry Styles, I think, and then she got with Calvin Harris. So we don't know if something happened between them at all in that time frame, but there was definitely something there. So that was a misconnection for both of them, and then they managed to relink it so later on. But yeah, they did it for a very short while, but to be quite frank, they both seemed very much into it, like very passionate about it. He showed up to some of the shows, he was singing to all the songs, he seemed very, very like, very involved and very like, as he should be, because it's Taylor's world and he's just living in it. But yeah, so very interesting. So I did not expect to have so many songs about him on this album, to be fair, but I am quite I don't want to say happy, because I didn't like, of course, the relationship, but I don't care, because that's what's interesting about Taylor Swift, is that she needs to go rogue and she needs to like experience to provide us with like incredible tracks, and so she did. She gave us some of the best tracks I would contend that she's ever done. Well, I'll get into them when I go through some of the tracks, but yes, that like artistically, this gave her so much to write about, and clearly, like from the tracks and the lyrics, it seems that they really defined her, summer in a way, and like her whole experience. Like she really had very high expectations from this man, and she was really, passionate about her, maybe a fling, well, however you want to call it, but it was like, Maddie Healy was a muse for her. So we can only clap and cheer for that. So thank you, Maddie, for giving us that. He's a rat, anyways, as we all say, but he's also, a muse, unfortunately for us. But he gave us some great, some great material. So cannot complain about that. But of course, there's also some Joe slander. So I am also happy to see that, because, well, to be quite frank, everyone's saying like, oh, I expected to have like more tracks about Joe, but if you really think about it, the bottom line is that they just fell out of love because he wasn't really like, pursuing the same lifestyle that Taylor wanted ultimately, right? He wanted to have like a more reserved lifestyle, while she is still very much about the fame, and as she should be, because she is, talented and like skilled in that department. So at the end of the day, they couldn't choose each other for the long term, which is very sad, of course, and that's what ultimately broke Camel's back. So, and we've already like we already knew about this. Like Midnights, as I said, like it is a breakup album in disguise, or like it was released before they actually broke up, so it was like an indecisive period of her life. But all the stories, like she literally chronicled all the emotions she was going through in that time. So we already sort of knew about this. Like we already had enough material, and to be quite frank, we've had this material for ever since they started dating. So she dedicated to him so many albums. So I think it's fair that he got a few tracks that mainly reinstate what we already were thinking about anyways, and what she already told us through other tracks as well. So that's pretty much it. What's more juicy is what she went through with Maddie Healy. I did it personally. Whenever I was seeing it from afar, I was just thinking, oh, he's just a rebound, he just wants to have fun, hot girl summer. And surprisingly, she was actually very much involved and very much in love with this man. And we didn't expect that. Personally, I didn't. So I'm always like interested to see, of course, how she behaves with her boyfriends and all this stuff. So yeah, that's a bit of a preamble to the whole album. But yes, so some of the tracks I would argue are about Joe, some of them are about Maddie, and some of them could be about both in a way, because I did a whenever these artists, like songwriters, write songs, they never, well, sometimes they do write specifically about a person. I can maybe that is true, but like most of the time it's about an emotion, it's about like an experience and a composite description of the feelings she was going through. So sometimes they're not literally about anyone, they're just about like a feeling specific that she draws from multiple people at the same time. Like it could be simply about heartbreak and not specifically about either of these two men. But yeah, and there are some songs about Travis Kelce, of course, but they're of course minimal, I would say, because most of this album was written when she was still going through both breakups in a way. So yes, I'm excited to see what she does in the next album already, because I mean, they're going hard. They're going to Coachella. They went to Coachella. They've been together for a bit already, and they seem to be very happy. So I just want to see like if she has some love songs that she wants to give it to us, or if it goes down to in flames like before we get to that. Well, we might get some even more tea. But either way, I want to start off by talking about Fortnite, because it's the first single of the album with Post Malone. I have to say the song is actually quite interesting. It's not my top favorite in the album, but I would say that it's actually a cool vibe. Now, when I also say this, everyone says like the production in here is boring and all that stuff. I think it's actually quite interesting the way she produced this album, and Midnight as well, which also leads me to believe that the linkage between her and the 1975 has been quite old already. But this album specifically, the way it sounds, most of the tracks are a sort of tongue-in-cheek reproduction of a typical 1975 album. If you don't know about their albums, it is sort of the vibe that you get from this album as well, in terms of production, of course. But it has that like 70s themed production. It's just that type of singing and like lyrics as well. So anything that comes out of this album has been like in the main, to be fair, mostly in the main track list, the main portion is some sort of like nod to Maddie Healy. So think about that. So for example, this track is very much Maddie Healy referenced, I guess, track in that sense. And I have to say the lyrics are so interesting. I think the song is actually about Joe Alwyn, to be fair. Or maybe it could be about Maddie Healy, to be fair. Now you're in my backyard, turning into good neighbors. Your wife waters flowers. I want to kill her, whatever. And and for a fortnight there, we were forever running to you sometimes, ask you about the weather. I think actually maybe it is about Maddie Healy, because it's like about a very short-lived relationship, like something that lasted only for a fortnight. But you know, it's crazy. But also something that you need to like think about is that in one of the lyrics she says, "My husband is cheating. I want to kill him," and it's also a very strong theme in Florida, another track in the album. Your cheating husband disappear. Well, no one asks about any questions here. So, like, yeah, there is a bit of a link between this song and Fortnite. Florida. I think they're both about the same person. It might be fictional, the song itself, but I think also there might be some truth to it. It seems in the album that there is some hints to the fact that Joe Alwyn might have cheated, or there might have been another woman in the picture. So think about that as well. So interesting. So yeah, there's a lot of like interesting melodies, like a lot of interesting productions, like a very slow tempo 70s themed song. I like the outro the most. I think the outro is like the best part ever. I like Post Malone's vocals here and how they like bleed into Taylor's, and the way they sing together is also very, very smart. It's just so nice. They do reference Florida as well. Move to Florida, buy the car you want, something like that. So yeah, I don't know if it's fictional, but it's a bit about like. In my view, it could also be a bit about Joe and Maddie, but very cool track. Interesting choice for a single, but I also see why she did that because Post Malone is on it, and also it's one of the shorter in terms of like length, shorter tracks on the album. But yes, I want to talk also quickly about the title track, the Torture Boys Department. This has to be about Maddie Healy because she talks about like a tattooed golden retriever or something. So that's definitely not Joe because Joe definitely not tattooed at all. He doesn't seem like the type, but there's also a bit of a reference to him as well. Like this album is very dual in that sense. There's references to both man and because they were so overlapping in some sort of way. So there's always going to be like a reference to both. But yes, so for example, the way it starts is like you left a typewriter at my apartment straight from the Tortured Poets department. I think some things I never say, like who uses typewriters anyway. I think that has to be Joe. That seems like a Joe coded thing. Like who the fuck uses that anyways? But I think also, in the chorus as well, I think it's about Joe. Like, and who's gonna hold you like me, and who's gonna know you like if not me? I laughed in your face and said, "You're not Dylan Thomas. I'm not Patti Smith. This ain't the Chelsea Hotel. We're modern idiots, and who's gonna hold you like me?" So something like seems like they broke up and all this stuff, and he's not gonna be able to find someone like her who knows him like that, and yeah. But then there's also the second verse, which I think is actually about Maddie Healy. You smoked, then ate 7 bars of chocolate. We declared Charlie Puth should be a bigger artist. I scratch your head. You fall asleep like a tattooed golden retriever. But you awaken with dread, pounding nails in your head. But I've read this one where you come undone. I chose this cyclone with you. So I think it might be either both, like the entire song about just Maddie, or also could be about both, to be fair. So yeah, it's quite interesting, honestly. Like it seems like she's revealing a lot about like the psyche of this man. That's a very tortured, like that makes so much sense because they're both very artsy people, and he's definitely a tortured man. Like he has a lot of like I think that Maddie must have like some traumatic past or something because like the stuff he says is just plain crazy. I cannot just like explain it, but she's also revealing a lot about him and how like difficult it is to like be with a man who's like so screwed up mentally as well. Like the bridge, for example, I wonder if you're gonna screw this up with me, but you told Lucy you'd kill yourself if I ever leave, and I had to say, and I said to Jack about you, so I felt seen. Like there's quite a lot there, you know what I mean? Didn't you take my ring off my middle finger and put it on the one people put wedding rings on? And that's the closest I've ever come to my heart exploding. You know what I mean? So I don't know if she was planning to marry the guy. Like Taylor is a bit of a delusional girl, as we know. So maybe it is about Maddie. The more I think about it, all the songs are a bit about him. But the concept makes so much sense to me because the Torture Boys Department is not simply a nod to the group chat that Joe Alwyn had with his friends, but also it is about torture poets. Like artists like Maddie and her, because at the end of the day, Maddie is like a tortured poet, you know. So yeah. Now, this is one of my highlights. My boy only breaks his favorite toys. This I think 100% is about Joe Alwyn. And the production is, I would just want to say this because I've been thinking about it this whole time. I think to me, this is the modern, like in terms of beat, it's like a nod to A Blank Space, because the way it sounds, the way it's produced, it's so similar to Blank Space. The snapping percussions and the way it goes into the chorus is like so similar to Blank Space. Even the production is so similar. I just love it so much. It just like made me smile ear to ear when I heard this for the first time. So I was like, period. So yeah, but the title is pretty self-explanatory. It's someone who's like torturing her in that sense. Like whenever there's like a bad day in that sense in the life of this man, he takes that on her, which is terrible. And that does strike me as Joe behavior. So like based on what we've heard before and on You're Losing Me as well. So yeah, like for example, verse 1, he says, "Oh, here we go again. The voices in his head, called the rain to end our days of wild, the sickest army doll purchased at the mall, reveal us to send my plastic smile." There's also like this reference to war again, which is like, reminding me of the Great War and like previous metaphors he uses for Joe. So yeah. My boy only breaks his favorite toys. I'm queen of sandcastles he destroys. It's just such a good fucking lyric. Because it fit to write puzzle pieces in that dead of the night. He's just like the way it is. He just loves to torture the person that he loves the most. And there's also like this reference to toys and all that stuff, which reminds me of a lot of Cruel Summer as well. Buy that boy shiny toy with a price, that I bought it. You know what I mean? Like that's definitely there's a lot of like metaphors straight to that are direct like to Joe Alwyn. So I think this has to be like a Joe Alwyn song. But like for example, verse 2, she says like there was a litany of reasons why we could have played for keeps this time. I know I'm just repeating myself, but put me back on my shelf. But first, pull the string, and I'll tell you that he runs because he loves me. So it seems like a lot of like a difficult and battled relationship in that sense, and something that's gone on for a while. And the bridge is so fucked up. Once I fix me, he's gonna miss me. Once I fix me, he's gonna miss me. So she clearly was brought to the end point by him, and then she's gonna fix herself up, and she's gonna get back at him in that sense, which is we love to see that, And the outro also is very revealing, I think. Just say when I play again, he was my best friend down at the Sandlot. I felt more when we played pretend than with all the cans. Because he took me out of my box, stole my tortured heart, left all those broken parts, told me I'm better off, but I'm not. So, see, that to me strikes as character, Seems very much in line with what Joe did. So, he was definitely a different one from all the previous cans she dated. Also, the reference to cans, I think, is also a reference to Calvin Harris in a way, because that's how her and Joe met. But yeah, stole my tortured heart, left all these broken parts, told me I'm better off. Like, it does seem like he, for example, the way he broke up with her or something, like the mutual way they went off about it was that she kept on he kept on saying like to her that she was going to be probably better off without him. They should have never dated and all that stuff. Like, typical dick move, but you shouldn't have gone into all these like 6-year relationship with her, bitch. Now, oh my god, we get into another highlight right after it. Down Bad is one of my favorite tracks as well. The more I listen to, the more I'm into it, especially the chorus, and it's just so fucking catchy. I just love it. I think this one has to be about Joe, I think. Yeah, so like the first, for example, tell me I was a chosen one, show me that this world is bigger than us, then send me back where I came from. Like, once again, like, promise it forever, but then never, knew where this was gonna go and all that stuff. Now the chorus, now I'm down bad, crying at the gym, everything comes out, teenage petulance, fuck it if I can have him, I might just die, it would make no difference, down bad, waking up in blood. staring at the sky, come back and pick me up. Fuck it, if I can have us, I might just not get up. I might stay, you know? Stay down. So relatable, so relatable. Yeah, or like, there's so much like that's definitely not to him. So I'm very, very, very like, you know, interested in this song so much. It's just like so nice. Or like the bridge is actually so cool as well. I loved your hostile takeovers, encounters closer and closer, all your indecent exposures. How did you say that it's and then she builds up I'll build you a fort on some planet where they can call all and wait, when they can all understand it. How do you think it's romantic, leaving me safe and stranded? Because fuck it, I was in love, you know. And Leave Me Safe and Stranded is also a nod to another song, to New Romantics. So he's no longer romantic to be left alone. Like, you know, he's been with her for this whole time, and probably he just, you know, he was a very depressed man. So yeah, very interesting song though. I really like it. Like I lost my twin. Fuck it if I can have him. Down bad, waving at the ship. Fuck it if I can have him. You know, like it's just really, really good. So like it. Talk 5 is so long London. It has to be about definitely about Joe Alwyn. So yeah, it's about like how much strategy you think I had. Did you think I had in me? How much strategy? Just how low did you think I'd go for I'd self implode? Just like it's something, you know, it's been dragging for a long time, and he's been playing this like game for such a long time, and he's been keeping her sad for the longest time. So yeah, I died on the altar waiting for the proof. You know, like she was waiting to be married to this man, and he never followed through. You know. And she's super mad that he basically ruined London for her. And to be quite frank, Maddie Healy is also British, so it's so interesting to me, like how but all songs can some sort of have some sort of like double entendre when you compare it to either Joe or Maddie, and I just love that. That's actually such an interesting, like it's a double breakup album, with if that could even be possible, but it's just so smart. I like it so much. But yeah, very interesting song in terms of production as well. Very up, well, it's not upbeat, but it's like very different from our usual track 5s. Has a bit of a church vibe to it, which is incredible, but I like it. Just not my favorite track 5 overall, but it's just like a very cool song. I like it. The imagery is like so nice, and I find it so good. Now, I also want to talk about this other one. The first run of the track list is just so fucking good. I just cannot lie. But Daddy I Love Him must be probably my overall favorite, I have to say. This is the love story, but made into a modern version, I guess, like an updated version. It is about just, you know, introducing, it's like dating someone that no one approves of, but you still love him, and you don't care about what other people say, and it's just, an incredible track. I just love the production so much. It's like there's a bit of a guitar in the back, acoustic guitar. It just screams Old Taylor so much. And it also gives me a bit of Hits Different, August. I don't know if like Aaron Dessner also produced this one. Yeah, by the way, I forgot to talk about this, but this album was mainly produced by Aaron Dessner, the one who worked on Folklore, and Jack. So yeah, like, oh yeah, they both worked on it. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, you know, because whenever they collab Aaron and Jack together on a track, it always has this like incredible feeling to it. Like if you compare to Hits Different and August, for example, those are like the main songs I can think about where they both worked on it. They have the same like liberating feeling, or like this freeing. The song just takes off. It is just so fucking good. But this is one of my favorite tracks ever she's ever done. So good. I love the pre-chorus so much, the melody as well. Too high of a horse for a simple girl to rise above it. They slammed the door on my whole world, one thing I wanted. And then the chorus just goes fucking insane. It's just like, this song is just about freedom, not giving a fuck about other people. She says like, now I'm running with my dress unbuttoned, screaming, but daddy I love him, I'm having his baby, no I'm not, but you should see your faces. You know, it's like so tongue-in-cheek, it's like so meta. And at the same time, it's not, because we know Taylor is a crazy girl and would think about these things. But it's also breaking the fourth wall, because she's addressing all the haters who were like, slamming her for dating Maddie Healy. I don't care. At the end of the day, like, I cannot control her life. She's a human dating a man, whatever. And I don't think the bad actions of a man that someone is dating reflect on yourself. Like, you could be dating the worst humans come on the earth, and that wouldn't make you a bad person yourself. Infatuation is something that is sometimes is not logical. You know what I mean? So why are we, prosecuting her for something that he did? Prosecute him. And it's of course interesting to, like, whenever she established a very parasocial relationship with her fans, and of course sometimes if they overstep the boundary and think they have a say on what she should do, but she's a grown-ass woman. She can make her own choices, and she can date whoever she wants, and like she can have fun, do whatever. So yeah, she like, I love how she's breaking the fourth wall and saying like, loving his baby. No, I'm not, but you should see her faces. She loves to like freak people out, and she's loving the fact that this relationship is like just so out of character for her, and that she's just shocking people and creating a ruckus. It's just like so fucking nice. I love it. And just like, sometimes you go through, like, you date someone who's like, you think people are not approving of, and you just don't give a fuck because you're just living in the moment. It's just so relatable. I love it so fucking much. I just like love it. I like the lyrics so much as well. For example, I really like "Dutiful daughter, all my plans were laid, tendrils tucked into a woven braid. Growing up precocious sometimes means not growing up at all. So true." And then she said, like, he was chaos, he was revelry, bedroom eyes, like a remedy. Soon enough, the elders are convened down at the city hall, and everyone's so basically like shitting on her, basically. But pre-chorus, stay away from her. The saboteurs protested too much. This is definitely about Maddie Healy, by the way. So it's like dating the guy that no one wants you to date, and it's definitely that interlude where like she was slammed by the people for dating him. And then there's also like the very funny image of him standing in the tent next to Scott Swift, next to her dad. So we know that her dad at first was not approving of it, but then slowly warmed his heart to him. So it's very cool. I love also the post-chorus that comes into the second one. I'll tell you something right now. I'd rather burn my whole life down and listen to one more second of all this bitching and moaning. Period. Tell him. I'll tell you something about my good name. It's mine alone to disgrace. I don't cater to all these vipers dressing empaths' clothing. So, girl, she's just letting you know that it's her life. She can do whatever the fuck she wants. Leave her alone. You're like a bunch of creeps asking her to like just stop dating someone. Who are you guys like just judge her choices, Like, it's just her dating life. Come on. Like, y'all are so pressed about nothing. Come on. And he gave us a greatest track. This is the best track she's ever done in a while. So I'm very pleased by it. And now the third chorus, like the way she changes it is so typical Taylor Swift. Now I'm dancing in my dress in the sun, and even my daddy just loves him. I miss Lady, and oh my god, you should see your faces. Time doesn't give some perspective, and no, you can come to the wedding. I know it's crazy, but he's the one I want. And this, again, is like, delusional behavior. This is like not meta commentary. It's not like satire. I think here she's actually serious. She might have considered, like, marrying Maddie Healy, but incredible stuff. But yeah, this is one of my favorite tracks. Absolutely. Other highlight is Florida, definitely. I love that track so much. Yeah, I don't know if this is like fictional or not, but it's like super good. I think it's actually this is when like she went. This is the first time she was single. Like, she announced the end of the relationship with Joe Alwyn. So yeah, she went to Florida and she was like, psyched by Florida. She was like, the chorus goes like, Florida is one hell of a drug. Florida, can I use you up? And Florence is just incredible in this. Her vocals are insane. So yeah, it's about like, being taken by this like city that is not your hometown, but it's like it's gonna free you up. And I've got some regrets. I'll bury them in Florida. Tell them despicable. Say it's unforgivable. What a crush. What a rush. Fuck me up, Florida. So good. Fuck me up, Florida. Oh, this is such a good melody, man. Ah, I love it. Give it a go. Florence and Taylor are killing it here, vocal wise. Another good ass track is lyrically is "Who's Afraid of Little Old Me," and this might be like about it could be about, to be fair, about anything, but I think it's just again about people um judging her and all that stuff, or like critics and all people like haters in general. Like she said, like she puts narcotics into all of her songs, and that's why you guys are all still singing along. It's just so self-referential. I just love it when she does that. It's just so good. Um, so yeah, I love it. This it reminds me so much of like My Tears Ricochet in a way. The energy is giving, but it's just super super good. The production, I love it so much. And when she screams, I'm like, girl, oh my god. Now another highlight for me is I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. I know I'm skipping through Love of My Life and I Can Fix Him No Really I Can. They're all both really good tracks. I really like it. Love of My Life is so sad of a track, but I Can Do It With a Broken Heart is also so good. The production is just insane. It goes so fast when it gets to the chorus. I love it. The pre-chorus, because I'm a real tough kid. I can handle my shit. Baby, you gotta fake it till you make it, and then I did. Lies, karma, bitch, smile, even when you want to die. So like it's like her being very professional, even though she's like miserable inside. And it's how you know she's good at it, because she's a very professional person. But it's also very revealing about her mental psyche, what she was going through when she was on tour, dealing with both breakups as well. Very revealing track, but also I just love the production so much. The chorus is so tongue in cheek. I love it. I'm so depressed. I act like it's my birthday every day. I'm so obsessed with him, but he avoids me like the plague. That had to be about Joe. Fuck you, bitch. I cry a lot, but I'm so productive. It's an art. You're good when you can even do it with a broken heart. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. The production is just so fast paced. On TikTok I said like it reminds me of a K-pop track. Like it's like K-pop but Taylor's version. And it's so true. The chorus specifically, yeah. Smallest Man Who Ever Lived. I want to quickly talk about this. This is actually not about Joe. It's about Maddie Healy. She slams him so bad here. It's just like, I don't even want you back. I just want to know if rusting my sparkling summer was the goal, she really had high hopes for this man, but it turned out to just be like a fun little thing for him. And she said, like, I don't miss what we had, but could someone give a message to the smallest man who ever lived? Period. Tell him. The outro, and in plain sight you hid, but you are what you did, and I'll forget you, but I'll never forgive the smallest man who ever lived. I don't know if like he is just simply that he played with her feelings, or if it's just like, I don't know. You don't have to forgive and you don't have to forget to move on, but you can move on without any of those things happening, I guess. I don't know. That's what she was saying in an interview with CBS back in the days. But I don't know. Something happened. So he did something to her. I don't know what exactly he did, but he probably just left her there, because like the bridge goes like, you said normal girls were boring, but you were gone by the morning. You kicked out the stage lights, but you're still performing. So I don't know. Maybe she thinks she was used by him or something. But this is a very, deep cut. It's a deep cut. Like she's just dragging him through the mud, and we love to see that. So these are like some of my favorite tracks, I think, on the standard version. And just quickly want to talk about the Black Dog is very sad. Of course, that's a great one. I liked So High School as well. This has to be about Travis. I loved it. Travis, you made it to the Taylor Swift world. Let's see if you can stay in that, but I hope you do, because he seemed like a nice guy. But I want to see more stuff about him. We don't have much material about him yet, so we need to see. But like she opens up a bit about her insecurities here. Are you gonna marry, kiss, or kill me? It's just a game, but really I'm betting on all three for us too. Get my car door, isn't that sweet? That reminds me so much of when he opened the door for her, and he went viral for it because he was a real man for doing that. No one ever did it, and they compared it to Joe, like how he was like dragging her in a car and all that shit. Truth, Dare, Spin Bottles, how to ball, I know Aristotle, Brand New, Full Throttle, Touch Me While Your Bros Play Grand Theft Auto. That definitely seems like a Travis Kelce type of night. you knew what you wanted, and boy, you got her. See, that reminds me of like when he went for the friendship bracelets and all that stuff. I'm watching American Pie with you on a Saturday night. It's like such an American couple type of. It's like so cute. I know, I love it. So I'm glad he made it to the track, and also the production is like so cute. It's like very guitar heavy, so I like it a lot. Um, I think I also like How Did It End, the one before it, if I remember properly. I like the piano a lot in that one. It's like the melody's like so nice. I think it might be about Joe personally. I don't know. It seems like very um, she's coming to terms with the end of the relationship. Like she still cannot figure out like why it goes so wrong. But yeah, and yeah. With the second side of the album, I have to say I don't have much knowledge of it because I'm like um I haven't been able to like really experience it, marinate it. I've gone through it once, but I'm not really sure about all of the tracks. I have to like sit with them for a while. And the second part seems more like folklore situation where I have to like sit with them for a long time before I come to terms with them. But I just love it. I just the album is really really good overall. I think I liked it. It's growing on me more and more. I definitely feel like I agree with some of the critics saying that she needs an editor in a sense that, and don't come for me, but I do agree in a sense like sometimes 31 tracks is just too much. I understand that she's in a very productive space, but not all tracks need to be released. That's what I'm saying. Maybe she's like just used to now doing all that with the Volt tracks and all that, which honestly don't go girl, if you have material give it to us. But I think overall, also in terms of like length of the tracks, it seemed like a spurt that she had while she was like on tour, and she put everything down and just released it. I think definitely could have been edited like to a more compact track list, but also it is what it is in a way. Like we're getting so many tracks, grateful for the feedback I'm receiving, and don't be scared of like. Actually, I'm glad that we're getting like some quote unquote bad reviews or like critiques about the album, because Taylor thrives through criticisms. I think one thing that I have to say about the Midnight situation is that Midnight, she received endless praises for honestly an average album for her standards. Like she could have gotten more mixed reviews in my opinion. She could have gotten some like reviews that could have pushed her a bit more for the next project. That's probably also why she got more bad reviews now, and not bad reviews. She didn't get bad reviews. That's the thing. She got pretty extensive praise, of course, but we've had more critics coming through and saying like criticizing a bit of the choices she made on the album, which I personally am low-key glad about, because she thrives off of criticism. So she learns a lot from what the critics are saying, and she bites back for that. She's gonna listen to what they're saying and go back to the drawing board, and like for next album she's gonna do like something that's gonna put them to sleep. So that's like where I think she goes to the greatest extent in that sense. Like she goes for excellence when she's challenged in that sense. Like the best albums she's made are when she's been challenged, as I said, multiple times. So yes, that's what I'm thinking. But compared to Midnight, I think I can see there are way more highlights in the standard track list alone. There are so many good tracks that I'm very glad to have heard. Like to me, the best ones. Every single album, Taylor Swift's album has a trinity for me. So like for example, for Midnight, for me was Maroon, Question, and Mastermind, I think. And for this one, for me, the Holy Trinity, I guess, has to be My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys, But Daddy I Love Him, of course, and I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. I think those are at the moment, the three that I'm like returning to the most in that sense. But there's just so much excellence beyond those. Like Florida, incredible stuff. Down Bad, incredible stuff. Guilty of Sin, incredible stuff. Who's Afraid of Little Old Mean, incredible stuff. There's a lot. So Long London, incredible stuff as well. There's much more like there are way more ups and like there are more fleshed out songs which I really like. Um, than Midnight's. Midnight's I had a lot of like short tracks and it was just like very rushed. Maybe I don't know. It felt like a bit rushed, but these probably sometimes has it the opposite problem of being like too fleshed out instead, like less edited. So she needs to find an in between again, I guess. Um, and she will, or even if she doesn't, that's fine because she's still producing bangers. So that's pretty much all I have to say about the album for now. I hope I get even more understanding of the concept of it all, but it's just an incredible thing. I just love the fact that it's like about both in a way. So both relationships, I mean, but yeah, just very content with it. I loved it. So yeah, this is probably the end of the episode, but hope you all are slaying and have a great week ahead of you guys. But I'll put all these songs that I liked in the playlist. Probably put it in my Trinity, so you guys can go and check it out. But anyways, thank you for listening. This, as I said, like is just my first impression, and I'll update you guys on what I think in the weeks to come as well. But I'll see you next week. Bye.